The 294th day of 1990. No print date on this French-Canadian tape, apparently. No print date on this French-Canadian tape once again. And yes, this tape does fully work all the way, since I did check the opening and close into this French-Canadian VHS of The New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, Volume 7, King of the Beasties, that is. So, yes, this tape does work fully all the way. So, when I was checking the opening and close into this tape, and I did fast forward it all the way to the end, and it fast forwards. This tape fast forwards really good, that is. It's not slowing down, and this tape is not defective at all, since this tape does fully work when I was just testing this tape out. So yeah, so that is the good news, though. So, yes, this tape right here does fully work all the way. It is fully working all the way. So, I'm so happy about that tape. But, apparently, I have one more tape to show after this one, and you'll see why in a minute. So, yeah. Yes, I finally managed to get my first 3 New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh French-Canadian VHS tapes in my collection so far, and I'm glad Volume 7, King of the Beasties French-Canadian VHS is fully working. So, yes, I'm so happy about that tape. So, yeah. Because I did test all 4 of these VHS tapes that I just received in the mail from eBay today. So, yeah. And I'm glad this tape is fully working right there, which is my French-Canadian VHS of The New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, Volume 7, King of the Beasties, that is. So, I just wanted to let you guys know and give you guys a heads up about this tape right here, and including the other 2 New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh French-Canadian VHS tapes that I just ordered from eBay last Sunday, that is. So, yeah. I'm so glad I got my first 3 of these tapes right here so far, that is. So, yeah, I finally managed to get my first 3 New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh French-Canadian VHS tapes, that is. So, because I really wanted to get those tapes, since they're really rare and hard to find. So, I'm glad I'm able to get... I managed to order my first 3 New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh that I decided to choose from, that is. So, yeah. So, that is the good news, though. So, yeah. And especially this tape right here, which is my French-Canadian VHS of Volume 7, King of the Beasties, that is, which I'm so glad that tape is fully working when I was just testing it out and checking the opening and close into it. And it does fast forward and it does rewind pretty good so far, and it does run really well. So that is the good news about that tape right here. But yeah. So anyways, so those are the first 3 New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh VHS tapes that I just ordered from eBay recently, and those came in the mail today. So yes, I finally managed to get those first 3 tapes of those. So yeah, I'm so happy, and I'm so glad I got those today. So yeah. So anyways, here's the last and the final tape for this update video, which Guys, unfortunately, I have some bad news about the last VHS tape that I'm about to show in this update video. So that means the last and the final tape I'm about to go on and show you guys is I have extremely bad news to tell you guys about the last and the final tape, unfortunately, you guys. So this video is going to be a VHS update and bad news video for June 9th, 2025. And you guys are not going to believe about the last tape that I got in the mail from eBay today. And you guys are not going to be in a real treat about this. And you guys are not going to be, y'all going to be so shocked about this last and the final tape, because I am not happy with that. The last and the final tape I'm about to show you guys in this VHS update video for tonight, that is. So that means, you guys, unfortunately, this is going to be a VHS update and along with the bad news for June 9th, 2025. So this is a VHS update and bad news for June 9th, 2025, that is. And even though I do have my first copy of the VHS tape, which I got in the mail from eBay back in March, but I decided to get another copy of it just for fun. But guys, unfortunately, I have bad news about the last and the final tape of it, you guys, which is my second copy of it, to be exact. And you guys are not going to believe this, guys. And oh my gosh, guys. I mean, literally, I was just testing that last and the final tape of it before I started recording this VHS update, along with the bad news for tonight, you guys, is, guys, bad hecking news, guys. No joke at all, guys. I'm just so ticked about this right now, you guys. So I'm about to go ahead and show you the last and the final tape for this update video for tonight, and then we'll be done afterwards with the actual VHS update video, you guys. So, yeah. So, guys, prepare for the last and the final tape of this VHS update video, you guys. So, I mean, come on. I mean, literally, so... Sorry about my little bit of frustrations during the middle of this VHS update video, because I'm just not happy about the last and the final tape I just got today from eBay. So, yeah, prepare for this, you guys. And you guys are not going to believe your eyes about the last tape, you guys. So, but even though I still have my first copy, which I am glad and I'm so happy that I finally got my first copy back in March, which was 3 months ago, back in March of this year, but which that copy is fully working. So that is the good news, though, which is my first copy of it, which I got back in March, which I'm glad that one is fully working. So, yeah. But guys, I have bad news about the second backup copy of it, to be exact, or known as my second copy of it, to be exact. And it's the VHS tape, which I got my first copy of it from eBay back in March in a 3 VHS bundle, that is. But I decided to get another copy, which is going to be my second copy of it, of that VHS tape in general, that is, just for fun, that is. So, yeah. But, guys, unfortunately, I have bad news about the last tape, you guys. So, this is not even funny, guys. This is not even a joke, guys. I cannot believe this last and the final tape I'm about to show you guys. So, you guys are not going to believe the last and the final tape of this update video, you guys. So, yeah, since I have some bad news to spread about the last tape in this update video. So, yeah, anyways. Here comes the last and the final tape for this update video. And I have bad news about the last tape, unfortunately, you guys. So, yeah. This is not even funny, guys. I was not expecting for this last tape to have a problem and having issues as well, you guys. So I'll give out some more specific details later on in the next couple of minutes during this VHS update video and stuff like that. So you guys ready to see this last tape, you guys? And you guys are not going to be expected for this last tape, you guys, because I am not happy with that last tape at all, you guys. Since I tried testing it out, you guys, it's not even funny. This is not even a joke, you guys. I'm not happy with this tape, this last and final tape at all, guys. So, here we go now, guys. 1, 2, 3, action. Here comes the last final tape, you guys. You guys are not going to be in a real treat with this, you guys, especially for Winnie the Pooh fans out there. So Winnie the Pooh, my other, or any other Winnie the Pooh fans out there, you guys are not going to be happy about this, guys, because this, and by the way, all 4 of these VHS tapes are Winnie the Pooh tapes in this VHS update video. I forgot to mention that there, so I just wanted to go ahead and mention that to you guys right before I showed the last and final tape of it, guys. So, yeah. So, all 4 of these tapes are Winnie the Pooh tapes, by the way. So, yeah, and the first 3 were French ones, that is. So, yeah, but the last one is the English-Canadian VHS of it. Winnie the Pooh VHS tape, to be exact. And I am a huge Winnie the Pooh fan, it's myself too, but guys, I'm just not happy with this last tape, you guys. But even though I still have my first copy, and I'm glad I have my first copy that is fully working, which I got in the mail from eBay back in March, which was 3 months ago, that is. But I did get another copy, which is known as my second copy of it, to be exact. So, yeah. So, ready to see this, guys? I'm going to go ahead and count to 3 one more time and prepare for this, you guys, because this is unexpectedly, you guys. So, yeah. So, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Ready to see this, and action. Here we go. You guys are not going to believe the last tape, you guys. So, here goes nothing. Ready, set, action. Yes, it is another copy of the 1990 Canadian VHS of Winnie the Pooh and the Blessed Three Day, part of the Walt Disney Mini Classics series. As you can see, the banner on top of the casing, or the cover on it, I should say. Bad hecking news, guys, about my second copy of this tape, and y'all gotta find out in a minute. So, but first, I'm going to go on and show you the slipcover and the tape itself real quick. So, before we give out the bad news about the second copy of this tape right here. So, yeah. So, anyways, here's the front, the side, the other side, and here's the back. As you can see there. And it has a sticker label on here, as you can see right there, and it has the light tan lid on it. And this copy does not have giant oversized reels, unlike my first copy of it, to be exact. And my first copy has a dark tan lid on it with no white highlighting on the tan lid itself, that is. So that's mainly the reason why I tried to get another copy of this at first. So I actually wanted to get another copy of this tape that does not have giant oversized reels, and it has a tan lid looking like this, which is a light tan lid that has white highlighting on it, as you can see right there, and it has lines on the cassette shell right there, as you can see there. So here's a sticker label on it, which looks the same as my first copy. And as y'all know, obsolete on the print date, so no print date on this Canadian tape of it, just like my first copy, and other Canadian VHS tapes from Disney and all that stuff. So, yeah. Anyways. So, ready to see this, guys? Let me explain about this copy right here, you guys. Bad hecking news, guys. I tried to check the opening and closing to this copy right here, which is my second copy of this VHS tape, to be exact, or my second copy of the 1990 Canadian VHS of Winnie the Pooh and the Blessed Three Day. But even though I do know this is a 1990 Canadian VHS for a fact, but even though I have bad news about my second copy of this tape right here, unfortunately, you guys. So, yeah. And guys, bad news about this copy right here, guys. I tried to check the opening and close into this copy right here, which is my second copy of this tape to be exact. But although I do get the fact, I do know for the fact that this is a 1990 Canadian VHS of this tape right here, that is. But unfortunately, I have bad news about this copy right here, unfortunately, you guys. When I tried to test this copy out, my second copy of this tape right here, before I start recording this quick VHS update and bad news video for tonight, this copy does not work at all, unfortunately, you guys. So y'all know what this means, you guys. Defective Canadian VHS tape alert tonight, guys. Another defective Canadian VHS tape alert tonight, you guys, for June 9th, 2025, that is. But at least, like I said, I do have my first copy of this tape that actually is fully working, so I'm not going to be too disappointed about my first copy of it or anything like that, because my first copy is actually fully working, so that's the good news. So, but at least I do have my other copy that is fully working. But unfortunately, and I hate to tell you guys this, but unfortunately, this copy does not work at all, unfortunately, you guys. Because y'all know what this means, you guys. This tape is defective, the whole entire tape, guys. So now, this is my fourth defective VHS tape in my collection so far, that is. My fourth one in general, to be exact, since I do have the other three defective Canadian VHS, Disney Canadian VHS tapes, which is it said one that was a French Canadian VHS though, but the second and third one was in the English Canadian, and same thing with this one right here. This is an English Canadian VHS tape right here, that is. So yeah. So I'll tell you guys the other three Disney Canadian VHS tapes that, excuse me, the other three that I currently own and I do have, they were completely defective, and the other three does not work at all, unfortunately, you guys. So yeah. So the first one that I got was the 1991 French Canadian VHS of Fantasia, which is a defective copy. And then the 1992 Canadian VHS of 101 Dalmatians, which I got last month back in May. That one was defective too. And then my 1990 Canadian VHS of Disney Sing-Along Songs Hi-Ho, which I got back in March. So those were the other three defective Disney Canadian VHS tapes, except the Fantasia one was the French Canadian one. But the second and third one I just mentioned, they were just English dubbed. They were just regular English Canadian copies of those tapes, the other two tapes that I mentioned already to you guys. But man, this is such a bummer, guys. This is freaking retarded, guys. I mean, sorry, hang on. I'm just kind of getting a little bit frustrated a little bit right here. So I mean, not another defective Disney Canadian VHS tape right here, guys. Not another one. Man, I just don't understand about this, you guys. I really just don't understand about this nonsense, technical difficulties, and all that stuff, pretty much. So, yeah. But at least I do have my first copy that is fully working, which copy I got back in March, which I got in the mail from eBay back in March, which was 3 months ago to be exact. But unfortunately, my second copy of this tape right here is not working at all, unfortunately, since this tape is defective. Since this is my second copy is a defective copy of the 1990 Canadian VHS of Winnie the Pooh and the Blustery Day, that is, which is part of the Walt Disney Mini Classics series back then and all that stuff. So, yeah. So, apparently, you guys, and unfortunately, you guys, I can't get this copy to play right and stuff like that. So, as you guys know, since this is a defective copy of this tape, which is known as my second copy of this tape in general, that is. So, yeah. So, that means, you guys, I'm going to have to hook up my silver Sony VCR and show you what the heck is going on with that tape right there. So, yeah. So, that means I'm probably going to have to do another defective Canadian VHS video right here where I'll show you what's wrong with it at some point, but unfortunately, I'm going to have to hook up my silver Sony VCR, which that is the VCR I really don't care about. So I'm just going to have to put that tape into my silver Sony VCR and show you what it's doing and stuff like that. So, yeah. So that will be in another video. So, yeah. Sorry to say this, guys, and I really hate to tell you guys this, but this copy right here does not work since this is a defective copy of this tape right here. So, yeah. Anyways. But at least I did the opening closing for my first copy, which I did back in March. So that's good news, though. But unfortunately, my second copy of this tape does not work at all, since this copy is defective, the whole thing there. So, yeah. Anyways. So that's the only tape I'm not happy with. But the other three, the first three, which they're all French-Canadian VHS tapes of the New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, all those are working excellent. Those ones are all fully working, but except this tape right here, which is my second copy of this tape in total general, that is. So, yeah, anyways. So that's my bad news for tonight, which is this tape right here. So, yeah, anyways. That's it for that. And that's enough going and rattling and going to any more further details about the bad news about that last tape right there. So, yeah, anyways. So, anyways, you guys, that will wrap up, and that will conclude my VHS update video for tonight, along with the bad news video for June 9th, 2025, and yeah, I really did want to give out the bad news during this VHS update video, but guys, I just had to get this off of my chest, and I just had no choice, and I just had to get this off of my chest and all that stuff, since I did test out for these VHS tapes before I start recording this VHS update video and stuff. So, yeah. So, anyways, my next video will be pretty much a more pleasant, better video as usual. So, yeah. Anyways. Yeah, I was not expecting my second copy of the 1990 Canadian VHS of Winnie the Pooh and the Blustery Day to be defective, guys, but apparently it is, you guys. But I'm not gonna complain over it too much, because I do have my first copy. At least my first copy of it is fully working, and it does work all the way through. So, yeah. So that's why I'm just not gonna complain over my second copy of that tape in general, that is. So, yeah. But, like I said, my French-Canadian VHS of Volume 7 of The New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, King of the Beasties, I was so surprised, and that one actually is fully working all the way through. So, yeah, so that's good about that. So, that one was not defective at all. So, that is good news, though. So, yeah, so I'm happy that one is fully working and stuff. So, yeah, anyways. So anyways, thank you guys for watching this VHS update video still, but even though that last tape I showed was bad news completely, so yeah. But anyways, at least I'm happy with the first 3 tapes, though. So that's good news, though. So, yeah. So that will do it for this update video for tonight, along with the bad news. And I'll see you guys later in the next video, which will be a much better video. So until then, see you guys later in the next video, and catch you guys later. Bye for now, everybody. And see you guys later on in the next video, fellas, and bye. Peace out, you guys, and bye.